Hi there, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. It's Friday afternoon, so I'm doing a crypto interest rates and news update. This is for the 7th of August 2020, and as always we'll start by looking at any changes to interest rates, and there's two changes to note this week. Firstly, you may notice here the crypto.com, what used to be denominated in MCO is now denominated in CRO, so I'll talk about this a little bit more detail in the news, but basically the MCO token is being phased out. They're currently in the process of doing a coin swap over to CRO, but what used to be the 50 MCO or less is now 5,000 CRO. The 500 MCO is now 50,000 CRO, and then the I think it was 5,000 MCO is now 100,000 CRO or more. So the interest rates within each of these kind of like bands remains the same, but the actual qualifying amount of CRO that you have to have locked up for your kind of card is changing. So we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a minute, but the only changes to interest rates this week are Celsius. So Celsius have basically responded to the BlockFi increases in rates, such as Litecoin going up to 5% last week, and they've increased their rates to kind of match and just better them. So Litecoin is going up to 5.05 paid in kind or 6.88 paid in Celsius, and Ethereum going up to 4.55 or 6.2% again paid in Celsius. They're the only changes this week. I've removed MCO from the table here because going forward it's not going to be a used coin. I wouldn't want people to get the wrong idea that they should be going out and buying those. So jumping over and having a look at token prices, we can see here that CRO is actually relatively stable this week, up 1.7, but pretty flat. It's been up and then dropped a bit and then back to where basically it was at the beginning of the week. Same with Celsius. It gained a lot of its losses from last week, and then it's given those back up. So it actually ends the week just 2.5% down. So not a kind of crazy loss, but I was expecting maybe this to do a little bit better this week. And then finally Nexo down 23.2%, so no big surprise here. As I've been saying for a few weeks now, the Nexo ex dividend date was the 5th of August, which was a couple of days ago. So a lot of people were buying into the coins, which spiked the price up in order to benefit from that dividend, and now it's the ex dividend date has gone. They are now dumping the coin, so down 23%, just over for Nexo. So jumping over to all the information and news this week, the really big news within centralized finance is this crypto.com announcement that MCO is being discontinued. They're doing a coin swap to CRO. Again, I'll put all these links to these stories in the description below. I think last week I kind of mentioned the stories I was talking about, but I didn't put the links to them, so they will all be linked below, as well as a link to the Google Sheet as always. But basically, all your MCO will have to be swapped out by the 2nd of November, or it will lose the functionality that is associated with it. Now, if you don't swap it, I believe these tokens will still exist as ERC20 tokens on the Ethereum network, but they won't actually be used for anything, won't qualify you for anything, so will essentially be kind of worthless after that kind of date. Now, if you are going to swap them before that, let me just scroll down. There is another date which is in September, so 2nd of September. If you do the early swap before the 2nd of September, you get this bonus, so you get an extra 20% of CRO. So your MCO will give you an extra 20% of CRO. What's slightly annoying is that a lot of people swapped and then they found out that the CRO, the extra 20% of CRO have been put into the exchange and locked for 6 months. So if you were holding CRO to participate, for example, in the syndicate event, so if you had CRO locked up for your 6-month period and you were 3 months or 4 months into that kind of period, basically they put this additional CRO, the bonus CRO, into that account and then restarted it for another 180 days. So not only did your new CRO is your new CRO locked for 180 days, but all the original CRO in your exchange account has been extended for 180 days as well. So that I think has left a bit of a sour taste in many people's heads. It's a bit of a kind of difficult thing. I think they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit. They've been called out a lot recently on the subreddit and other forums, basically for maybe fractional reserve or selling the MCO that is being staked and locked up back onto kind of Binance. So there's been people looking into this, looking at large numbers of MCO going from their cold storage wallets over to Binance, and they've been kind of like selling that. Now a lot of people at the time were saying, look, they're suppressing the price of MCO. Why are they doing this? It looks now that CRO going up in value all the time, MCO being held down, and now they've locked in the MCO to CRO swap at about, was it 27, just over 27 CRO to MCO. So a lot of people feeling quite aggrieved by this. All their early adopters were people that bought into kind of MCO. They've held them for the card benefits and stuff like that. CRO, from my point of view, was just basically kind of launched in order to stop people selling their MCO. So way back when crypto.com was Monaco, you had to buy and lock up your MCO tokens for 6 months. And I think Monaco, as it was at the time, thought they could get these kind of cards out in the 6 months, and then people would continue to lock them up for the card benefits. The trouble was that the cards weren't released when they thought they would be, and then after 6 months there was no incentive for anybody to hold on to this MCO token because it wasn't giving them any benefit. So they then allowed you to kind of stake or earn interest on the MCO, and something that they started to do was they launched this CRO token, and that was supposed to be airdropped to MCO holders every month for, I think it was 5 years. It was certainly a large amount of time, and then after 6 months or something like that, they actually stopped doing that. So people were pretty annoyed about that at the time, and I think this is just the latest in a long line of kind of like changes of decision and changes of kind of roadmap, and things that they promised they wouldn't do, they are kind of doing. So it's upset a lot of people. A lot of people that are questioning this and are unhappy within their subreddits and other forum environments that are run by crypto.com are getting deleted. Their comments are getting deleted. They're being banned for certain amounts of time and stuff like that. So I might do a full update or a full video about the kind of implications of this, but be aware, if you do hold MCO, you are going to be required to swap those for CRO if you want to see any value out of them in the future. Sticking with crypto.com, their next week's syndicate event is going to be PAX Gold, so that goes live Tuesday morning GMT. And something from BlockFi this week. There's a really interesting video here. You can find it on the BlockFi channel, but basically it's a security overview featuring BlockFi's Chief Security Officer, Adam Healy, and they talk over various subjects, including the hack that they were subjected to a couple of months ago now, probably a month or two ago now. So well worth watching if you have funds in kind of BlockFi. Some interesting information coming out of this video. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, Nexo ex-dividend date has finished. The dividends will be paid out on the 15th of August, but they're going to be distributing just over $6.1 million in dividends. I think it basically works out, for every 100 Nexo tokens you hold, you'll get roughly 5 extra tokens. So it's about a 5% return on the tokens you're holding. So if you are holding Nexo tokens, expect those to be going into your account on the 15th of August. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks very much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below. It's always nice to hear from you. Let me know what you think about the MCO to sort of CRO coin swap. Let me know if you're happy with this or not, and if you'd like me to do a kind of video going into the kind of in-depth into the ins and outs of this, let me know below, and I'll endeavor to do that in the next few weeks if you want me to do so. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks very much, as I said, for watching. Hopefully see you on the next video, but have a great day. Bye bye.